All right, here at the Gutwein home, we just wanted to walk through what we're looking at. So it'd basically be the entire house. It'd be the brick, be the stone, shutters, front porch, all the trim, all the siding. So pretty much anything on the house that can be painted, except for obviously like the walkways and areas like that. All the rest of the areas in the home are going to be painted. So even like the skirting underneath the siding, all of that will be quoted to be painted. Front door is stained right now, but they are wanting to move that to paint. So the front door would be included, gutters and downspouts. The windows are being left alone. They're vinyl, so we won't touch those, but the trim around those we would paint. So on the front, you've got a pretty good sized portion of stone masonry on the front porch area. Then you've got cedar shake siding, or sorry, hardy shake siding on the sides. And then regular brick on the side and the lower portion around the foundation of the house. And that's pretty much what you'll see all the way around the house. Just want to highlight a couple of areas of concern as far as prep that we need to do. So you've got areas like this where there's some excessive peeling on the posts. So we'll need to scrape and prime those areas, make sure we get those caulked up as well on those joint lines. Make sure everything's sealed up so moisture can't get in there to cause any kind of wood rot. Same thing down here. You can see those caulk lines and some of the swelling at the ends of those compressed boards that we want to make sure we seal up with caulking. Here's a front door that needs to be primed and painted. Pretty intricate front door. Walk around to the side here and you'll see as we get into the brick and talking about the brick painting, there's many areas that have kind of like an algae buildup that we're going to have to make sure we wash really well to get off before we do a whitewash or a painted brick, just depending on what direction the homeowner would like to go. We talked about the garage doors, doing a two-tone look on those. This access door would be painted as well. All the trim work here, a little bit of siding on this side as well, and then the foundation brick all the way around. Here are those algae areas that we talked about. So you've got quite a bit of algae that needs to be washed off really well on the home. And so nothing of major concern. Some areas where paint's chipped off on the garage door frames. So we'll scrape and prime those. Again, we're gonna make sure we wash the house really well, scrape, prime, caulk, make sure everything's all sealed up. And then we would get to the painting and the whitewash or the painting of the brick, depending on what direction you go. There are some vines on the back of the home, as you can see. We'll need to pull those down, scrape them, try to power wash the barbs and then scrape the barbs. They're not gonna completely come off, but we'll do what we can to try to get them removed as much as possible. So shutters on the back, siding, trim, all the way around, fascia and soffit, the brick here. And as we walk down, obviously you've got quite a tall chimney there. You can see the chimney cap is rusted out. So we would prime and paint that so that the rust doesn't run down onto the newly whitewashed or painted brick and cause any kind of staining. Again, here are some of the vines that we'll need to cut down and remove before we paint. And then you've got a chimney up here which looks kind of bad as far as gonna need quite a bit of prep on that chimney. The only thing I'm concerned about are the ends of those boards at the bottom along the roof line. We'll get up there, we'll need to make sure that they're intact and they're not rotted out. I don't think they are. I just think they need to be prepped and sealed up before we paint, but we'll get up there and check it. And then back of the home, pretty straightforward. There's a lot of home, but everything's pretty straightforward, pretty standard to what we do. And then this grill area here would also be included if it's still here. It is being removed eventually, but they would like it whitewashed or painted if it's still here when we get out to paint. And then the deck is also part of the quote. I'll put that separately for you, but you can see it needs to be washed really well, remove all this kind of algae buildup on the deck, tighten up any boards. There's a couple boards that could deal with some tightening up. There are some bowed boards on the deck as well. Not much that we can do with these. They don't really move. But if we can put a screw or two in there, just kind of tighten them up, the homeowner would appreciate that. So deck floor needs to be fully primed. If you're moving to a solid stain, the primer is going to really seal down and lock in the pores of the wood so that it'll accept the new stain. And then we'll make sure that that's going to give you the longest lasting durability on a deck that we've found. And then obviously the skirting and all that down here as well, and the pergola to be stained as well. And then here's the last side. Again, foundation brick on the bottom. You've got more of that algae that needs to be washed off really well. And then you've got a dormer up there, and then more siding and trim work. So that's pretty much the scope of the work. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll be happy to help. Thank you.